Hi, good morning. This is Ride the Wind, Daryl Johnson from the top of the Ozark Mountains. Good morning, everybody. I just got to say, and I bet a lot of other people out there are just totally exhausted. Man, I'm just, and I can pretty much guess the reasons why, and I can pretty much guess that a lot of you out there probably feel the same way. The atmosphere is juiced. I've got the videos to prove it. These plasma storms have gone on for months, and I've got the records to prove it. New York, Louisiana, and all that wasn't, something that just happened. If you're looking at the world in a global view, which you should be, okay, man, this is happening all over. Now, I do want to tie something else in. And I talked about it before real quick. Electrical lines. They also emit EMFs. I explained to you there's a line that runs around this town, which is about 4 inches wide, and everything around it is dead. Okay, the grass beneath it, the 100-year oak trees next to it on both sides. Okay, a friend of mine said, oh, what they do is they spray them with Roundup. Really? Do they spray an oak tree 100 feet up in the air with Roundup? Is the Roundup plan to kill oak trees, pine trees that are over a century old? No. This is the electromagnetic frequencies, which are also being distributed through our power lines. They've got everything cranked. What was I going to say? I don't know if you're having problems with internet, but from what I see across the nation, banks are down. Things aren't working properly. So I don't know if certain people are getting my texts because I'm not getting replies, So the transition to 5G is happening right now. Okay, that's what they're doing. Another thing I wanted to bring up is the references I gave as to Jesus not being crucified. I gave sources, but really what I gave is scripture. The scripture that you're all supposed to know. The Bible people, okay? Not necessarily the average layman. But I quoted scripture after scripture after scripture that God says, he does not let that happen to anybody. You will be protected in the pavilion, and thou shalt not kill was basically directed to protect his prophet, is which kind of what I'm seeing with Asu. So the story gets deep, so you guys fight and you say this and that and hell yeah. How about the Masons or the Egyptians writing down? It went kind of like this. Okay. Tell you what, Gabesh. I tell you what, we torture him, we make him carry cross. And then I've got a really good idea. We nail him to the cross. We stick thorns on top of his head. We stab him with spear. Yes, good idea, Kabesh. Write that down. That sounds great. Okay? Totally wrong. So if you're reading like 50% of the scriptures where God does not sacrifice, he does not create a commandment that says, thou shalt not kill, flip it on a Sioux and send his butt to be tortured and murdered and humiliated. No, that's not the way my God works. And if you're believing in a God that would do something like that, go back to the scriptures that you say you know. I did a field trip yesterday down to the music store. They didn't like me when I walked in, I took a gold top, it was Les Paul, I think it was, you know. And when the guy saw me shooting a YouTube video, right, he said, I'm going to give you about a minute, right? And I wanted to plug into a stack, you know, and really grind. But he plugged me into a little amp, which had a pretty badass grind to it, right? And, you know, the first things I were playing was basically warm-up lick scales. You know what I mean? That's what I do. And then I went into a song. Well, somewhere within there, homeboy clicked off the... As soon as I took the neck and bent it, which is a way of, let's say I hit an A note, I'll grab the neck and I'll bow a guitar. That will drop the A note. That will loosen the string. Just got to make sure you don't snap the neck off, right? Which I've seen people do. But you got to know how to do it, and wood will give, okay? So anyway, once I grabbed that guitar and grabbed the body and bent the neck, the show was over. So, you know, here I am talking about a $500 gold top guitar that I'm really kind of interested in, and that little amp did blow ass, you know. I'm into that sound. I'm into crunch. I can play you some soft stuff too, and that's what we'll do next. You know, I'll play you some pretty stuff. But, you know, I focus on high speed, 30 seconds, 64th notes, kind of the Spanish flamenco type speed, and that's exactly what you kind of catch me do. But, and harmonics, the high squeals is what I put in there, which are the higher frequencies, which we all need to vibrate, of the actual notes I'm hitting. Those are the high squeals that you're hearing, okay? So anyway, what's weird too is the whole thing came out of sync. You know, it's like my hand's not moving with what I'm doing. I'm like a second behind. I fly down the note, I fly down the scale pattern or the fretboard with, I don't know, 100 notes, you know, within 5 seconds. And it just doesn't match, okay? So it plays that, and then it shows my fingers flying down the fretboard. So I apologize for that. I apologize to those of you who don't like the grind, okay? But that's who I am, you know. You know, I go with the hard boys. Eddie, you know, hell, there's so many good ones, you know, Eric Gales, you know, I'm real into the blues. And that's what I started going into, was just a blues rhythm. And I was going to rip some leads, you know, but that's when he shut me up and basically kicked me out. Anyway, it was 432. I can guarantee you that. And I do want to find out what that little amp is, because, man, it did put out a sound. So I got to find another music store. I'm looking to, you know, be able to do like a 20-minute thing where I can show you, you know, my other abilities and play some nice stuff for you also, you know, some clean guitar. You know, I want to say that we're surrounded with Satanism. I just watched, you know, I watch A Call for the Uprising, A Call to the Uprising. I forget who he is. He nails everything. I just saw another one, a guy covering the Super Bowl. I don't know if you guys watch the pregame show. Anyone? Did anybody watch Gladys Knight sing the national anthem? Did anyone catch Gladys Knight say "Hail Satan"? Did anybody notice that the halftime show was totally satanic? This is surrounding us now. The war has begun, okay? When will you stand up, find truth, and not allow this to happen? That we all collect together and we fight. We learn truth and we fight, okay? One thing, the Pandey, okay, is a kind of a yogi guy I've been following. Take time. I want you to take time every day, because we base our a reality concept on self. Okay? Now, the reality concept we base on self are from the outside influences. Okay? So, in that way, when we only perceive outside influences, we never find self. The way you find self and the way you ultimately let it go is to sit down with yourself every day and talk to yourself. That person inside you, that church inside your heart. Okay? And you get to know that person within you. You introduce yourself to that person. And I recommend spending at least a half hour to an hour a day accomplishing this goal. The perception that we have has been concluded or figured out by everyone's input that surrounds us, rather than knowing, okay, I've got me, and then I've got the I that exists within me. I'm looking to make friends with that I, okay, to know that I. For me to know that I, and for that I to know me, okay? This will be your first step. And number one, getting to know yourself and knowing what your purpose is, because it will become very clear, okay? The secondary thing is when you come to that point, you will know which part of self and ego needs to be chastised from your heart, okay? That may be confusing for you, but it makes much sense to me. St. John Julian, a magnificent guy, the light that glows from his eye, this guy Depende, I just found is just, off the hook. Russell Brand, Jim Carrey, they're all aware of the sacred secretion, sexual alchemy, Kundalini. It may take you 40 years working with a yogi master to figure out, how it works. And it's a very hard transition to go through. Or you may have gone through many traumatic events in your life, such as I have, which actually caused a Kundalini awakening, which has been very hard for me because I haven't had the counsel of a yoga or a yogi to guide me through these changes and the fire that exists within my brain. I hope to maybe get back with you later today. I'm going to go research, how we switched Asu over to Satan, and then I'm going to drop back and we're going to find out where the deception began. And I can pretty much point it at the Egyptians at this point, okay? Hindu is the most ancient religion following the Sumerians. Just very interesting stuff with so many religions. And I'm getting help from a certain someone. We're going to have a conference this weekend. This person is a Muslim. And I want to know that person's beliefs because they don't believe in the crucifixion either. And they seem to be holding closer to the actual truth than what's been submitted to us by Freemasons, Illuminati, Egyptian gods, you name it. They're all in there, okay? Anyway, y'all have a blessed day. My name is Daryl Johnson, and I'd like for y'all to ride the wind with me. If I don't get back with you today, maybe we'll hook up this weekend and do a field trip. Love y'all. You 144s, stay strong, rest, get your balance. Thank you. Have a good day.